Let's talk about conferences in the NBA. The Eastern Conference, they're pretty much the defending champs. Milwaukee won the championship last year. That was the last time the Eastern Conference has won a championship in the last 5, 6 seasons.
Hmm.
What do you think will project right now being the best conference? Who do you like better as far as talent? And who do you think probably will walk away with the Larry O'Brien trophy? Do you see the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference being the best this season so far?
Man, that's a good question. I respect the Eastern Conference because for like a long time, the Western Conference has been like the dominant conference. And then after Kawhi won the championship in Toronto, everybody started, doing duo teams and leveling out the playing field. You know, Kevin Durant going back to the East, James Harden going to the East. It's Jamal going to the East too as well. Like they're
Right.
just leveling out the playing field. And seeing the Bucks win, that really made me excited to see finally an Eastern team winning the championship. I still think the West is slightly better, even though the East got 9 teams over 500, but the West is still loaded with so much talent. It's like you have to bring your A game every single night. From Phoenix to Golden State to the Mavericks to the Clippers is pretty good this year to Utah, the Nuggets with Jokic just doing his thing,
Right.
crazy and everything. So I still think they're slightly better, but the East has been really competitive. Seeing Milwaukee, Miami, Philadelphia, Brooklyn getting, KD back and Kyrie playing, the away game. So they're kind of playing against Boston Celtics being on a hot streak right now. The Chicago Bulls, Atlanta Hawks is trying to, get over over 500. So
Right.
it's been a level playing field, but I still think the West is slightly better. In terms of winning the O'Brien Trophy, at the beginning of the season, we were saying Phoenix will go to state because they were the two superior teams that was like better than everybody else. And then after like the All-Star break, the Golden State Warriors has just been losing games crazy, with the loss of,
Facts.
with Draymond Green, being out, and then Wiseman, you could just have, and they have a bunch of weaknesses on that squad. But I'll still say that somebody from the Western Conference is going to win it. I want to still say Golden State has a better shot, though, but I'm not going to sleep on Phoenix because Phoenix, if Chris Paul comes back before the playoffs, I think they could be the favorites. But I think Golden State, with the depth and length that they have to figure out a way to, build that chemistry back, because they have that chemistry. And then Klay Thompson came back and kind of ruined the chemistry a little bit because Jordan Poole coming off the bench. It's like I'd much rather see Jordan Poole starting over Klay Thompson coming off the bench just so he get his legs underneath him. So I'll say Golden State might win it, but at the same time, and it's up for grabs. Like we don't even know who's going to win it. It's up for
Correct.
grabs.
Right. No, I agree with you 100%, JP. I think at the end of the day, you got to put a lot of respect on the Eastern Conference. You talk about, DeMar DeRozan coming from San Antonio, going back to the East to play with Chicago. I like to see some of the stars and the superstars, bring it back to the East to play, like you said, make an 11 playing field. But at the end of the day, the West, these squads, they have so much talent. It's hard to beat them 4 times in a 7-game series at the end of the day when you ask me. Like, regardless of the struggles that LeBron and AD and Russell and them playing, I
Yeah.
believe if they make the playoffs, it's going to be hard to beat them 4 out of 7 times. There's still LeBron James we're talking about. There's still Anthony Davis we're talking about. So the West, even though the East has been looking good, and then you also got to credit injuries. A lot of players on the West, a
Yeah.
lot of stars have been injured, which have helped the image of the Eastern Conference. A lot of those guys have been able to play for the most part. But,
Mm-hmm.
I agree. They're looking good over the East. But at the end of the day, I think the West is the better conference just because of the size of the talent pool. And I think that they're more gritty and they'll go further.
And also, the West had, like in recent years, like they had better draft picks, they had better trades over there in the West. So that's why you see a lot of great talent pool over there in the West. And some probably didn't fit with the team, but they go over West and they just blossom into like a really good player. Like you
Right.
just don't really know with like these draft picks and the potential. It just depends on the fit and the chemistry that they're
You're going to get to 30,000 points, and because you are the best passer in basketball, it's pretty easy to get to 8,000 assists, and because you're 6'9", 260, it's pretty easy. You should get to 8,000 rebounds because you were born to get to 8,000 rebounds.
Well,
so am I impressed by any of this? No.
Skip, just shut your ass up! God damn! Skip. You know what surprises me? The fact that you've been doing these shows for years and you've yet to give a realistic take.
Get 'em.
Come on now. How'd you even get a job critiquing athletes anyway?
Get 'em.
You're about as athletic as Carlton Banks at Bel Air Academy.
Oh,
Not
Skip.
to mention in the face you look like Green Goblin.
Get 'em.
Somebody pull up the side by side. Yup, that's him. Pumpkin throwing looking like motherfucker. Shannon, is this dude serious? He averaged 1.4 points a game as a high school senior.
I know,
I
right?
wouldn't even let him warm the water boy spot on the bench. Come on now. Now, with all that being said, do you have anything else to say? Because you got a lot of mouth on Twitter and on this TV show when I'm not around. Say it while I'm right here.
What you gotta say, Skip?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.